allowing yourself to fully arrive to this moment. So welcome. And just as I'm welcoming you to this moment, maybe welcoming yourself to the moment as well. Welcoming this sense of awareness, of being present. Settling in to the seat, the chair, or the mat if you're lying down. Allowing for this moment to be the most important moment of your life, because it is. And it is the only moment that we have. So it could be helpful if you like to keep your eyes open to just lower your gaze. And this is just so we can avoid distractions. Otherwise, the mind thinks it needs to focus outward. When we lower the gaze, we relax the gaze, and we close the eyes, and the mind gets a message that we're focusing inward. So tuning in right now to this body, here, right now, sitting, lying. Welcoming yourself fully right now. Feeling the support of the chair or the cushion. Perhaps being aware of how gravity keeps you here. Allowing the body to just fully, safely sink into the seat or the chair or the cushion, fully supported, embraced by the earth beneath you. Letting the body breathe itself. There's nothing that you have to do with the breath. The body breathes all on its own. And as we tune into our formal practice by sitting here together, sharing this space together with one another, with the understanding that we're all in different paths, we're all at different stages of our practice, but coming together as one, supporting each other in this way, knowing that mind is really all one, and that we all struggle in the same way. There's no difference in how the mind processes life. And at the same time, there's this vast awareness that we all can access. And in this way, we're all the same, meeting in this deep, deep awareness, sense of being. And seeing it very gently, you can perhaps allow your attention to rest on your breathing without disturbing the breath in any way, without disturbing the body breathing in this moment. But just allowing the attention to kind of settle here, resting in this moment, resting in this breath, resting in the form of the body, the physical body. Away from any self-identification with it, but just this body breathing that you inhabit that allows you to navigate life. Noticing your feet in relation to the body, maybe on the ground, maybe folded, maybe tucked in under your legs, maybe lying flat. Now allowing your attention to move through the body, resting on the legs, noticing all sensations that might be here. Maybe the touch of the legs with a chair or the surface, the mat, the floor. Maybe the clothing against the skin, the warmth or the coolness of the weather. Or maybe any subtle, very subtle sensations that almost go unnoticed because they're so subtle that they become neutral, disregarded. But it all matters here. And if you experience difficult sensations, you can always tune out the direction You can always go back to your breathing. You can even mute the mic and my voice and rest quietly in this space with one another. This is your time. This is your practice. I'm just here to guide you. But the guidance is always optional. And so if you're with me, resting your attention on the legs, the back, the front, the knees. Kindly attending to this part of the body. Moving up to the hips, pelvis, the tailbone and the glutes. Scanning for any tension or tightness. Or anything else that might be present. Moving up to the abdomen and the lower back. Softening up if you encounter any tension or tightness, if that's okay. Perhaps you can feel the breath here at the belly. In the upper trunk, the chest and all the organs here. The lungs pumping air, the heart beating. And if there are any parts of the body that are tender right now, if there's any resistance with any part of the body, acknowledging that and bringing a sense of care and compassion towards this body. the upper back and the upper spine and the shoulders. The palms of the hands, the lower arms and the upper arms and the elbows. The shoulders and the back of the neck and the sides of the neck, the throat. And can you perhaps invite for this moment to be a moment to be fully present with whatever it is here in the body right now? As not to suffer through it, but to acknowledge it for what it is. Tender, kind curiosity. And moving up to the face. And the head, all the way from the sides of the head and the ears to the crown of the head. And now taking in a deep breath with me through the nose, deep breath, deeper than normal, and holding it. And on a long, long exhale, longer than the in breath through the nose, just releasing anything that might want to be released right now. Any stories about the body, about the situation of the body in this moment. Any tightness around that, any tension. And being with the moment exactly as it is in this moment, being with the body in this way. Feeling the body breathe. Nayira Wahid says, and I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. And he took a long breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. Resting your attention here in the landscape of sensation in the body. Kind, compassionate curiosity. And as we sit here in this moment, in this present moment, there is no other moment. Coming up to the continuity, the idea of life being just this moment, no more, no less, just the moment exactly as it is. And what if we can contemplate the idea that life is just one moment at a time, being fully present for the moment. So continuity is vital for the practice. So how can we remind ourselves to just be aware all day long? To be aware of what's happening, to be aware of the moment. To watch yourself everywhere, all the time. When you're sitting, knowing that you're sitting, feeling your feet on the ground, your bottom on the chair. And while walking, Thich Nhat Hanh says, walk as if your feet were kissing the earth, or something along those lines. But walk as if you were kissing the earth. And I think that's quite profound. We're often rushing from place to place. And so when we bring our attention to our step, how are we stepping? We're in the moment, we're present. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do but just being here in the moment. How about while cleaning? The moving of the body as we clean, focusing on the stretch as our hands move around, maybe wiping windows, wiping tables, whatever it is that we're cleaning, dusting and dusting. The strength that we put with a vacuum if we're vacuuming, or the broom if we're sweeping, or the mop if we're mopping. And while talking, right? That's something that we practice here. Every Monday and Friday, we're practicing kind listening, being present with one another in this loving, caring way, bringing our attention back to their words, their sharing, taking a pause before we speak. Notice a thought before the words come out. Wahid says, let me arrange the flowers in my mouth. And then Rumi guides us with this. He says, it's what we're going to say kind. It's a helpful. It's a necessary. So that's another way to being present with one another, to being present in life. How about while we're eating? Being fully engaged when you eat. The smell of the food, the color, the taste, layered with all subtle sweetness, bitterness, saltiness, tanginess. And noticing if the mind is trying to get something or somewhere out of the moment. Noticing if we want something to happen, as is often the case, often looking for the next big moment, rushing away through this moment. How are we prepared for the next moment if we're not in this moment? We get caught off guard, right? The mind is always rushing in, and really there's no stopping that. It's just noticing, there it is, rushing again. Even as we sit here, how long is this talk? When is the next moment? So boring. And then the boring moments get disregarded, right? We talked on Monday a little bit about judgment. That's part of judging, right? The mind liking and wanting more, not liking and pushing away. And the neutral moments, the sweet neutral moments that get disregarded because they're boring. The mind doesn't even notice them, the routine. Every day I wake up and I do the same thing, and I don't even know what I do anymore because it's the routine. It's not boring, it's not new. And so maybe, as soon as you wake up, I'm waking up. Yeah, coming back to that sense of being awake, being alive. And as I lie down to sleep, it's time to rest my body. It's time to rest, put the moment away for now, rest. Embracing sleepiness, embracing tiredness when we go to bed. And so as we talk about the attitudinal foundations of mindfulness, as we've been learning about them and practicing them here, maybe you can ask yourself another thing during the day. What is your attitude towards the moment? Right? What is my attitude right now towards this present moment? Is it an attitude of acceptance? Am I cultivating beginner's mind right now? How about patience? Or simply just acknowledging what's happening, the likes, the dislikes, and without rejecting the moment or trying to recreate something new, something that you want, can you just observe maybe? Can we all just observe what is present? Whatever it is, knowing that it will pass, it will change. You won't stay like this forever, even if it's a difficult moment. Eventually, it will pass. Expecting or wanting things to be other than they are causes anxiety. It causes tightness in the body. And so John says, life itself becomes your meditation practice. The less you contract around the wants or the dislikes, and the moment of liberation is the moment you notice the grasping mind, wanting more, going after other things other than the present. So maybe taking a moment to tune into this moment, to bringing your attention right now to what is most present for you. And as we move on to the groups, maybe that will be a practice, tuning into yourself and what are you present with, starting with your body. Perhaps a little tension in the shoulders, tightness, or maybe numbness, right? What are you present with? What's in the mind? What's in the heart? So what are you most present with as you tune into the groups? So bring in a sense of gratitude to this time for really crafting this time away from your schedule. It's not always easy, and you do it. So really a sense of gratitude towards yourself for being here in community, for supporting each other, for supporting all of us with your practice. A sense of deep gratitude. And I thank you all for also taking the time to be here, because the world is a better place just because you're practicing. The world is a better place just because you're here. So thank you. And so as we